My name is Aussie Marcel, the most luscious locks on YouTube, and in today's video, celebrity fragrances. Where do they sort of rank? What do I think of celebrity fragrances? Well, to start with, I think just because it's a celebrity fragrance doesn't mean it's just instantly dismissed. There are some good celebrity fragrances out there, and I've got two men's ones and two women's ones to point out today. Starting with the men's fragrances, Kiss Him by the band Kiss. This is a really interesting fragrance. It's hard to find in Australia, but when you can find this one, it's either really cheap or really expensive, because I'm pretty sure Kiss collectors, they flip-flop as to whether or not it's expensive or not. Now, first impressions of this fragrance is that it is soft. It is a soft masculine fragrance with notes of anise, cardamom, lavender, things like that. I would classify it as a soft, spicy fragrance. And it's not the most masculine thing I've ever smelt. Some reviewers online have said that this one smells like sweat. I mean, it's the band Kiss. Of course it's going to smell a little sweaty. But nah, in all seriousness, this one's okay. As far as celebrity fragrances go, this is definitely up there. It's got a softness that you don't often find in men's perfumery, so for that reason alone, it's worth checking out, especially if you can get it at a cheap price. Our first women's fragrance, Killer Queen by Katy Perry. Now, if you're a woman watching this video, there's a good chance you've smelt this one before. It's pretty popular. Atomizer is The fragrance itself, though, it is incredibly feminine. It's incredibly sweet. It's got a touch of caramel, a touch of strawberry. I get lollies, or as Americans would call, if you're American, candy. It's one of those fragrances that if you smell it, you'll recognize it immediately. You've probably smelled it a million times, as I often smell this on people. It's pretty popular here in my corner of Australia. But in saying that, it just has something about it that I really enjoy. You can pick this one up for like under $25 for quite a large bottle. And it's got like a distinct sort of look with a nice gradient. Looks classy until you get to like the plastic cap, which I'm sure is pretty easy to break. But for the most part though, this is a guilty pleasure sort of fragrance. I love it when my partner wears this one. It smells fantastic. And there might be some of you out there that don't like how sweet this one is, but I'm not one of those people. This smells pretty good. Almost swore then. This room's going to smell really interesting after this. The next fragrance I want to cover is David Beckham's Beyond Forever. Now, the Beckham fragrances I always have had a soft spot for because they're so cheap and they're so readily available here in Australia. This one is special though. Actually, I'll put the cap back on to show you the bottle. Presentation is nice. This one is special because it smells similar to Dior's Fahrenheit, which is one of my top 3 favorite fragrances. I'm not going to waste this one spraying it in the air. This is too beautiful to waste in that regard. But this one though, decent atomizer as well. The opening is reminiscent of Dior's Fahrenheit. Not quite as leathery or as floral or as petroleum / gasoline like, but it does have like that similar sort of vibe to it. Overall, the fragrance itself is long lasting in terms of a Beckham fragrance, but it's still not fantastic. Performance on the Beckham fragrances across the board is average at the very best, and this one is up there for a Beckham fragrance, but for most fragrances, you know, this is 4 hours and that's not great performance. The advantage of buying a Beckham fragrance is that it costs less than $25 Australian, although the Beyond line is a little more expensive than Classic Blue, Intimately, and those sorts of fragrances. So it's a level above those beginner Beckham fragrances, but yeah, it's still worth picking up for $25. And the DNA of that fragrance itself is quite a bit different than the regular Beyond. The regular Beyond is a little softer. This one has more harshness to it, which is why I can find it pretty easy to compare to Dior's Fahrenheit. And lastly, for the women, is Michael Bublé's By Invitation Peony Noir. This is one of my partner's favourite fragrances, and in her words, this absolutely surprised her. It smells way more expensive than it is. This little bottle, 30 ml, costs like $19. This one is a little floral, a little dark, and in my partner's words, it smells like red wine. And it does have a red wine vibe to it. So if you sort of like those slightly boozy, winey smelling fragrances, then this one's going to be well up your alley. And for $19 to try out a 30 ml bottle, it's affordable to pretty much everyone. Yeah, this is a very nice fragrance as well. In fact, I probably prefer the DNA to this over Katy Perry's Killer Queen. There's another new Killer Queen. I think it's in a blue bottle. I'm not too familiar with that one. I'll have to review it on the channel at some stage, but I would like to. Anyway, celebrity fragrances aren't all terrible. Yes, a lot of celebrities just have a fragrance line to make a quick buck and get their name out there even more. But for the most part, especially nowadays, in this day and age, celebrity fragrances are a way for the average Joe to get into perfumery at a much more affordable price. And generally speaking, these celebrity fragrances are quite affordable. And for that reason, I think you shouldn't outright dismiss them just because they give people a chance to try something else. Anyways, that's about all I've got to say on celebrity fragrances today. Have you ever worn any of these before? If you have, let me know in the comments below. And until the next video, my name is Aussie Marcel, the most luscious locks on YouTube. I'll catch you guys around.